Hello everyone, this is Adit back again with another video. In the previous video in this design pattern series, we have discussed about the proxy design pattern. And if you haven't watched that video already, then I will put the link in the description below. You can watch that video as well. So in this video, we are going to move forward and we are going to discuss about observer design pattern. So let's get started. So with the observer design pattern, you can subscribe to a certain object and the observers to another object called observables. And whenever an event occurs, the observable notifies all its observer. So this is what the definition of the observer design pattern. So now let me just explain it through this diagram because I think by using a diagram, it will be much easier for me to make you understand. So in the observable, we have three components, main components like notify, subscribe, and unsubscribe. So what happens? Observers are the array of all the. Basically, we maintain a list of observers inside an array. So these observers are basically an array, and inside that we put all the observers. So what happens when some event occurs? Then this notify function notifies all the observers about that event. And for the subscribe one, whenever we are going to subscribe to this observable, we are going to push that function to this observers array. So we maintain a list over there. And when we want to remove something out of this observers list, then we just use unsubscribe. So this is the whole observer pattern. So now let's see how we can implement this in using JavaScript. So to implement this, what we're going to need first is a list of observers. Let's have list. It is going to be an empty array. Now we can use it as a singleton design. We can use as a singleton function. We can have export const observable, and we're going to have object.freeze. We are using freeze over here so that we can't change this function from outside. So now we are going to implement the three main components of an observable. So those are notify. So this notify is what this is going to do is it is going to grab data, and then from the observers we are going to loop through it, and we're just going to execute it. Similarly, we are going to have a function called subscribe. It's going to be a function, and observers start push. So we're just going to add the new subscriber to this observers list. This is just a list. And now the last part is unsubscribe. This is also going to accept a function. And this function, let me just type comma away. First of all, we're just going to grab all the observers. And then we're just going to loop through it. It's just going to have observer and the index. And then if the observer already exists inside this observers list, then we are just going to remove it. So this is all. We have just a small function to implement the observer design pattern. Now we are just going to test it. So to test it, what I'm going to do is like I'm already having a function, a button over here. We are going to notify all the observers on the click of this button. So let's just create one logger function. And let's just have let's just display the date as well. Since it's a logger function, it makes sense to add the date as well. And then whatever data we are getting at that particular date. And now this function is going to subscribe to this observer. So to do that, we're just going to have observer dot subscribe and then logger. Now we're just going to add a click event on this button. To do that, we're just going to grab the button first. I think I have named it as my button. Good. Okay. Now I'm just going to add button dot add event listener. On click, we are going to notify, and we're just going to pass some data like notification is clicked, and now we just save it. So now if you just click on this click to notify button, you will have to see like we are getting this value. This is coming from this notify, like we are executing all the functions that we have pushed. So like logger is getting inside this observer list, and then we are just notifying all of them. So this is all the observer pattern says in short. And this is how you implement the observer design pattern in JavaScript. So now it comes like what are the benefits and disadvantages of using this observer design pattern, right? So there are certain trade-offs like so basically the observer design patterns helps you to enforce separation of concern and single responsibility principles. So these are the advantages of using an observer design pattern. So the disadvantage of using observer design pattern is as it decreases the performance, handling too many observers become complex. So handling too many of observers becomes really complex in this case. So yeah, this is all for this video. We have already discussed about the observer design patterns. I hope I'm able to make you understand about the observer design pattern. And this is it for this video. If you like the video, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.